It's Wednesday, October 23, 2019. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. Leaders in developed countries have agreed to make US $100 billion per year available by 2020 to help small island developing states (SIDS) in mitigation and adaptation efforts for climate change. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the disclosure in a statement to Parliament yesterday.
This $100 billion per year by 2020 goal translates on a national scale into more grants and loan funding for community-based projects such as water irrigation and storage, renewable energy, and the integration of more efficient technologies in energy production. The restoration of our coral reefs, putting in place early warning systems such as weather stations, helping to protect and improve our marine stocks, and integrating technology in our agriculture to make it more resilient. Today, we are less than 3 months away from 2020, and the global progress and action towards making financing available to countries like Jamaica is woefully inadequate. My text says it's still not enough.
According to Mr. Holness, the global progress and action towards making finance available to countries like Jamaica is still not enough.
The largest international fund dedicated to fighting climate change, and which I believe must be strategically engaged and supported, and we should continue to pursue them strategically, is the Green Climate Fund, the GCF.
Jamaica has received over $1.8 million from the Green Climate Fund, which is being used for reforestation, forest management activities, and to stem or strengthen national agencies tackling the challenges brought by climate change across the sectors. The Prime Minister outlined the government's plans to make Jamaica climate resilient, fiscally stable, and a country that's continuously growing and developing.
We will continue working on strengthening our economy and ensuring better fiscal management, because that is our first line of defense against climate change. We will continue to be global advocates for the increased mobilization of public and private funds for mitigation and adaptation, including but not limited to the Green Climate Fund. And thirdly, we will continue playing our role of regulator and market maker to attract more private sector investments into the green, blue, and circular economy to generate employment and growth opportunities.
The World Bank has reportedly approved a US $15 million grant to support Jamaica's bid to expand its financial protection against natural disasters. The grant is being made available through the Global Risk Financing Facility, GRIF. GRIF is supported by Germany and the United Kingdom. A joint release from the Ministry of Finance and Public Service and the World Bank yesterday states that the grant to Jamaica represents the largest made by GRIF to a middle-income country. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark says the grant is important to Jamaica's efforts to achieve resilience against threats posed by climate change. The bank, with support from the United Kingdom, is also providing technical assistance for Jamaica's preparation of a national disaster risk financing policy. Micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, are being given new initiatives to compete for government business and promote local production. The House of Representatives on Tuesday passed the necessary legislations piloted by Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark. Public Procurement Domestic Margin of Preference Order and the Public Procurement Set-Asides Order resolutions gives local MSMEs a 20% domestic preference edge in terms of their bids for contracts, and set-asides for those companies using more than 35% Jamaican content. The Finance Minister explained that the initiatives would encourage national growth and development by enabling greater participation of local MSMEs in public procurement, or the provision of goods and service paid for by the government through special and differential measures.
On the passage or on the affirmation in this House, the application of this factor allows a national bidder to earn a government contract even if its bid price exceeds the price of a foreign bidder, provided that the national bidder demonstrates a required percentage of domestic content. This order dictates 20% and 35% respectively. Therefore, a procuring entity shall apply a domestic margin of preference of 20% on the criterion of bid price in respect of bids which demonstrate the use of domestic content.
He said that the purpose of the amendment to the 2015 Procurement Acts by introducing special differential treatment is to strike a balance between ensuring that there is price competition as well as ensure that the MSMEs develop as local industries using primarily local products.
If we continue as we have been going and for international bids, open it up to foreign competition, allow our Jamaican suppliers to contribute, and pay attention to one single variable only, then what we will do is in the short term, we earn a benefit, but over the long term, we underdevelop our own country.
He said that almost all public entities are already using the electronic procurement system, which aims at significantly improving efficiency and transparency in the acquisition of goods, services, and works. The government intends to address the concerns raised by stakeholders on the proposed integrated development of the Bernard Lodge area. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, along with government officials, recently toured the Bernard Lodge area in St. Catherine and met with stakeholders to address concerns of illegal sand mine, illegal dumping, and irregular settlement. Mr. Holness said the government will develop appropriate strategies to relocate persons who are currently utilizing the land in farming and other businesses. The Prime Minister also explained that in relocating persons, the government intends to have their economic prospects improved. The Prime Minister stated that the master plan for the integrated development of the Bernard Lodge area is the first of its kind to include residential, commercial, agriculture, and agro-processing. Brewing company Red Stripe will be converting its waste into productive enterprise shortly. Wastes to be targeted under the project are primarily wood, paper, plastics, and metal. Other waste streams include spent grain and yeast. Speaking at the official launch of the project at the company's Spanish Town location on Tuesday, Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Darrell Vaz, said that the innovation dubbed the Red Stripe Circular Economy Project will also benefit the economy, provide jobs, and preserve the environment. The project aims to increase awareness of the need for and benefits of a circular economy to the environment and communities, create a shift in behavior, and to reduce, recycle, and reuse waste. Key entities that will be involved in the project include the Climate Change Division of the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, the Heart Trust NTA, Jamaica Business Development Corporation JBDC, and the National Solid Waste Management Authority. The Ministry of Justice wants to create a searchable online platform through which Jamaica's laws can be easily accessed by the public. Currently, the laws of Jamaica are provided online at the Ministry of Justice and Parliament websites. However, the Justice Ministry wants to turn them into a searchable database. Director of Legal Reform in the Ministry of Justice, Maurice Bailey, says the average person should be able to type in the word bail, and all the acts and regulations that relate to bail should be available. Mr. Bailey says there is no set timeline for the creation of the database. The US dollar on Tuesday, October 22, ended trading at Jamaican $138.58, down by 30 cents. That's according to the Bank of Jamaica's daily foreign exchange trading summary. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $104.33, down from $105.64, while the British pound sterling ended trading at Jamaican $179.04, up from $177.33. Motorists often complain about traffic snarls, fuel prices, insurance premiums, traffic fines, and the cost of vehicle parts and the state of the island's roads. These problems are probably amplified for taxi drivers, as they are on the road more than the average driver. Jamaica Today took to the streets to hear from taxi drivers what they see as the pressing problems that would force them to come to a stop.
One of the biggest issues that we're facing is contrary, meaning that we can't travel on any roads within Spanish Town area, and that is inconvenient to a whole lot of people. Understand? And if we decide to let some people or people that ask for stops, we don't have a designated point where we can stop. So inconvenient people who walk all the way from the bus terminus to come, if them say them at the Okeile police station or different location, places or what have you. But the main reason, the biggest issues that we're having is the fact that we're red plate, white plate, blue plate, yellow plate, all plate pay taxes for use of the roadways. And the one plate that provides public service is being restricted from using these roadways. Now we pay what we pay, an additional sum for being transport. You understand, within the transport. So this is the biggest issue we're having. The fact that they might take a car whenever we drive on the next road in order to alleviate traffic or get someone to where they want to go.
First of all, there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of things that we are not clear about. Firstly, I must admit that a lot of us taximen are ruling. I agree with that. Secondly, I like the idea of wearing uniform to show that we are doing a job. So that we should be treated like we are doing a job. But this is it now. We are not bashing the police because if they get a mandate to do, they have to carry it out to the best of their ability. Likewise, we want to carry out our work to the best of our ability. But we are being inconvenienced by restricted. And we didn't ask for these routes that we have been given. The routes that we have been given, Transport Authority, take these routes and send them back to us. We are unaware of signing for these routes, and then it's become an issue now that we are being restricted to drive on certain particular roads, going to Elton, coming back from Elton. Now, when there is traffic, you will have one street totally blocked up, or two streets totally blocked up, and then we're not nowhere to go because if we go somewhere else, then our car will be taken away, wrecked up, and taken to the phone for Cancherry for just driving on another road to load the traffic. And that is a big issue for us because it's not like when we divert off of these roads, we are being given a ticket so we can work and pay back for these things. Our people is being taken away, so we don't have a choice.
My problem is with the contrary in the town, your destination, where depending on your road lights you're entering, and you have a problem with that in a punish zone. When you come, you have to stick on one road inside that the destination. We can't understand that. That comes like a scam. You understand? We don't understand that. You understand? So that is my problem. As a taxi driver over 20 odd years, never have any problem with no law enforcement or whatsoever. You understand? I'm coming to do my work that I'm here to do. You understand? So that is my biggest problem in Spanish Town about the country, the destination. So if somebody out there will understand this thing, supposed to come and say and try to correct that.
I don't see the reason why
all the taxis to drive and one road coming down. I see you coming from Kitsitown. The road at Kitsitown is coming into Spanish Town, in the terminal. You walk up on traffic from William Street to down the terminus. Traffic come right in, and you cannot say go on a different road and get down by the terminus. You have to stick in the traffic. Sometimes it's an hour to take you, and if you just divert to a different street and come down, you could reach to your destination within 5 or 10 minutes, and you have to stay in the traffic sometimes for an hour. So I don't see the importance of the one way, the route in the town. I agree, like when you're coming from Kitsy Town, then you drive straight on St. John's Road, William Street, and come in the town. That's all right. But when you come in the town now, you are not operating on those streets around. You are just coming into the terminal. So I don't see why you have to stay in that long line coming at the terminal, and you could just divert and come at the terminal. I don't see that necessary.
We have a problem with the country. We can't drive anywhere. And that a mash up work. Every vehicle have to come from William Street, come across Young Street, you take an hour for it on a terminus. So it a mash up work. It is a done out to gas, if not now go on through some.
In regional news, we look to Trinidad. A High Court judge will be hearing arguments today on the opposition's application to block the sale of Trinidad's state-owned oil company, PetroTrin. The United National Congress is concerned about the aspects of the sale. It wants Finance Minister Combe Imbert to convene a meeting of the Joint Select Committee.
The application also asks the court to give directions to hold the government, the executive and the cabinet accountable to Parliament for decisions made regarding the sale of the refinery. According to Sturge, the decisions were taken in an atmosphere of secrecy and mystery, and he said the decision to not convene a meeting of the Joint Select Committee on Energy for the past 19 months was deliberate and intentional on Minister Imbert's part, especially since as finance minister he would have been intimately involved in the decisions taken on the refinery. Sturge argues that, quote, the decision was designed to ensure that the committee would be unable to discharge its functions during the most critical time in the history of the energy sector of our country, when irreversible decisions were being made by the government with respect to the patrimony of our country, end quote. He argued that the Joint Select Committee had the Joint Select Committee been allowed to discharge its constitutional function, the decisions of Imbert and the Cabinet would have been subject to examination by the committee. But as that was not the case, Sturge says the country is now forced to accept the information that the government, the Cabinet and the executive placed in the public domain, justifying the decisions on the sale.
In the Bahamas, government says it stands firm in its decision to deport illegal Haitian immigrants. This despite the UN human rights group's request to hold back on their decision for now. 61 people died when Hurricane Dorian moved slowly across the country September 1 to 3. Most of the immigrants resided on the island of Abaco, which was severely damaged by Hurricane Dorian. Clint Watson from Eyewitness News explains the government's decision.
In a statement last night, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs noted that the Bahamas made the painstaking but necessary and conscientious decision after temporarily suspending immigration laws to reinstate them. The statement says all illegal migrants removed from the Bahamas were done so in compliance with the statute laws of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas in accordance with the Immigration Act, consistent with the international standards of the rule of law and in compliance with international human rights norms and standards. The government stating that there was adherence to all due processes and the requisite procedures for proper documentation via captured biometrics were followed to determine every individual's constitutional right to reside lawfully in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Persons found wanting and in violation of the Immigration Act were lawfully removed in accordance with the requisite court orders. The statement concluded that the international community is assured the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is a country that adheres strictly to the rule of law, both locally and internationally, especially with respect to the rights of every man, woman, and child in its jurisdiction. Any person entitled to be in the Bahamas legally will be afforded every fundamental right under its statute laws. In the same vein, any person in violation of the Immigration Act will be dealt with in accordance with the statute laws of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
In sports, Jamaica and Ukraine are set to exchange coaching expertise, technical and scientific research, and sport medicine capabilities across the disciplines. This follows a memorandum of understanding signed between the Jamaica Olympic Association and the National Olympic Committee of Ukraine. The MOU was signed recently in Doha, Qatar, at the General Assembly of the Association of National Olympic Committees. And more in sports, Jamaican hurdler Jaheel Hyde is now training under the guidance of founder and head coach of Swept Track Club, Okeile Stewart. In May 2018, Hyde, who is the national junior record holder, left his high school coach Christopher Harley and moved to the MVP Track Club. Mr. Stewart believes that the addition of Hyde to his training camp will lead to a return to form for the 22-year-old who is looking to kickstart his career. Hyde will train with Stewart from his base at the University of the West Indies, Mona campus. Windward Island's Volcanoes will be looking to recapture their form that took them to the top 2 years ago when the Colonial Medical Insurance Super 50 Cup opens on November 6th. Heading into the tournament, former fast bowler Andrew Richardson has replaced fellow Jamaican Andre Coley as head coach. Richardson says they are looking to put on a strong performance this time around.
My expectations are that we go to the Super 50 with the squad that's selected, and we give a good account of ourselves. We play every game hard, we play every game until the last ball, and we expect to put ourselves in good positions to win as many games as possible. We have quality, we have youth and experience, and with that, we do expect a good showing at the Super 50. As we know, it is cricket, and it's played on the day. As long as we plan the way we are to, and we execute those plans, we do expect to be in a good position at the end of the tour. Winning is the ultimate, right? Last season, we finished probably at the bottom, close to the bottom. We do not expect to repeat that sort of performance. Success is winning. If we haven't won the competition, it's not to an extent that we have totally failed, but everybody goes to win, right? And we are definitely coming to win. And as I said, the cricket is played on the day. I wouldn't say if you have lost the competition, you're a failure, but everybody is coming to win, and we are certainly coming to do the same.
And that's the news on PBCJ, the People's Station.